Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Patrick O'Teal here from the Fig and the Pheasant and Moxie Cafe and Catering in Plymouth, Wisconsin. Patrick, thanks for jumping on with me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure, truly.
Thank you. I'm really excited for you to share your business story and your multiple business stories with our clients and community, as well as your rich history in business. Would you mind if I asked you about Fig and the Pheasant and Moxie Cafe?
Oh, please do.
Here we
They're
go.
great companies.
Thank you. I'm excited. When people ask you what your business does, Moxie Cafe and Catering, Pheasant, how do you describe your business?
So our business is a very food-driven wine experience with wonderful coffee and a kind, confident, happy staff that focuses on the guest. And that's what we do. And what we have seen as business owners and managers in the different places that we've managed is when we're focusing on the guests, our team isn't focusing on each other. So the drama level becomes almost non-existent because we're jamming busy, we're food and beverage, and when our focus is on the guests, we're able to, how some would say, exceed expectations, but otherwise just have a really genuine time while we're open.
That
If
is
that
wonderful.
makes sense.
Absolutely, it does. And how neat is it to not have that drama in whatever business there is? Sometimes there can be a high level of drama, and if you're able to take that down and just focus and really give a wonderful experience, that is such a win. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's really due to a lot of our team. Plymouth High somehow is raising children to be so smart and confident, and they are kind. And when they join on our team, they fit right in. And it is really amazing that we have been able to see when we were running our hotel, just these young kids, and they're serving 5 and 9 course dinners and knowing that all these wines are being poured around them. And they have been amazing. And some of our best hires ever, actually.
That is so special and good to know.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your hotel a little bit. So what were your plans when you started business and how have they changed?
Okay, so Rana and I have always wanted to own a bed and breakfast. And here in Wisconsin, in Sheboygan, to be able to be a bed and breakfast that serves food, you need a commercial kitchen on site.
Okay.
And that was a limitation and an expense for smaller little restaurants or little bed and breakfasts that didn't have a space for dining. And there was a hotel here in Plymouth called the 52 Stafford.
Okay.
And we approached the previous owner and asked him if he would sell us his hotel. And it was a little bigger, it was 19 rooms. So we'd have about 38 guests.
Okay.
And the restaurant, we do about average 50 to 80 people on a busy night. And we started to introduce our wine dinners and things. And our focus was to offer an amazing experience and create the Fig and the Pheasant to be a destination place.
Awesome.
And in order to be the destination in our business plan and our credo, we had a lot of benchmarks that we were setting up to achieve. And after we actually got out of the hotel business, after 3 unbelievable years, that if there was ever a book written, it would be absolutely hilarious at times, heartbreaking, and totally inspiring all at once. But there is no book. So the experience is our memories and the things that we have done. And if you hear noise in the background, we are a coffee shop, and we make great coffee drinks as right here. But so I guess that was what we were trying to do. So we branded the hotel at that time as it was high end, and we hired a manager to help us assist with how the beds would be laid out and the rooms would be organized and the food was matching everything. And we were on the fast track and we were so busy. It was amazing. And we were filling up lots of weekends and we were expanding and growing and everything was happening. So it was a total win.
Awesome. Yes. And then you saw something across the street.
Yes. So this was actually during the COVID in 2020. There's a coffee shop that I am sitting in now that we own called Moxie on the corner of Mill Street and Stafford Street in Plymouth. And the owner was on his way out, and we saw an opportunity and thought, what if we introduced our food there for lunch and did something unique for Plymouth and introduce our food for lunchtime service and great coffees. We serve Valentine coffee out of Milwaukee. They're wonderful roasters. They're locally owned, and their approach to coffee is amazing. And we're proud to be partnering up with them. And we kind of thought, all right, now we have it. We have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it is really going to happen. And then we saw an opportunity to not be in the hotel for ever and ever. And an exit plan somehow materialized that we could spend time with our family, because we have 2 kids, and live more of a life that wasn't from morning till night, every day or middle of the night being called or whatever at the hotel, which we expected. But when we grew our team, we had 8 staff to start, and we grew it to 38 team members. And then we were sinking back down to about 18.
Sure.
And that's when Ron and I were thinking, this just doesn't seem to fit our lifestyle, which is, it's great. We did really well, but at the cost of what? I think Rana said it best. She said, so let's say we do this for 30 more years, and we look back on our lives and say we rocked it. You know, we did it. We did every goal. We won every award we wanted. We were busy, but look at what we gave up. And it was through that kind of thinking that really got us to say, well, what do we want? And it's to see each other, to have a good relationship, to see our kids grow, and they're a part of our business. You know, they're young, and when they're working, it is a ball. And so now we have a more manageable lifestyle. That's sure, we get super busy and we're catering a bunch, so we're always on the go, but we get to see our kids, you know, in the morning or at night, which is rare for us, but so wonderful.
Well, and we were talking earlier, you had some really unique quality time with your kids from what, 2006 to 2016, traveling around the world. Do you want to share just a little touch of that so we can learn, you know, our viewers can learn about making choices? So we'd love to hear that.
Right. When we were in Oregon, we were both chefs at a restaurant, and our daughter was 1. And it was, you know, a busy place that was always going to be the same cycle. And work was always the thing. And there was the one day off a week and the whole thing. And Rana saw a TV show on Iceland. And she was watching this show, and she looked at me and said, I would love to see winter get light and the ice melt and turn to spring. I want to see what that looks like. And it was like, whoa. And at the time I was applying abroad into an island called Nevis. There were 2 hotels that my application was in and interviewing for. And it was rare that one small island with 10,000 people had 2 chef opportunities. And one did not hire me, but we ended up meeting him when we moved to the island. And one did, hired Ron and myself, called Montpelier Plantation Inn. It was up in the mountain a little bit of Nevis. And when we moved there, Quintessa, our daughter, was 1, and she got fully immersed into the culture more than we could as a young girl. And oh my God, she knew everybody on the island, it seemed like, and it was a blast. And we stayed there a few years, and I was then recruited above the Arctic Circle in Norway, which when the interview ended, I looked at Rana and said, where is Norway? You know, so we got out a map on the internet and saw where it was. And this was way up to the top. So what was interesting is when we arrived, it was full sun, and this was in April. And then the sun was out 24 hours a day for 2 months. It just spun around the island at the top there. And then in November, it went behind the mountain and did not come back till middle of January.
Oh my goodness.
So we had 2 months of no sun. And that's when Rana got to see the darkness turn to light again and spring melt off and turn to spring. So it's kind of this big moment for us as one of those life dreams, ideas, things coming true in a totally different way than could be imagined. Because 2 days after the sun came back, Liam was born up there.
Oh.
So it was kind of a special time for us.
Mm-hmm.
And Liam thought he was Norwegian till he was about 6, when we ended up moving to Dubai. And he started to realize when he was around different kids from different countries, I think there were 80 countries represented in his school. Wow. And it was amazing experience of how harmonious it was and peaceful. And it was beautiful, actually. And then from Dubai, we ended up living in Hong Kong for a year, where we managed a pretty large event space with different venues and things. Okay. And what's cool is that I once thought if we could do this here, our style of food, we could do it anywhere, you know? Yes. And it actually, with the right tools and attitude, cooking has been an absolute amazing career for both of us. So it's been more challenging than we could ever have imagined. But the people we've met and worked with, the core teams that have assisted with bringing the food to where it always went to, it's just been amazing. You know, wow. It's hard to describe, but.
So you really bring this talent right inside yourself from all over the world, and you've brought it back to Plymouth, and have had some choices too, to continue to focus on your family and bring culture and experience and everything right to Moxie.
It's true.
Absolutely.
And we're doing that now. We have the ability to sell retail wine and wines by the glass. And we also do some really nice curated cocktails. Our maple old fashioned is amazing.
I bet.
And what's cool is our little coffee shop turns into one of the better or best places for fine dining in the area. Though you won't find a white tablecloth, we do have purple tabletops because it's Moxie, and our glasses are big and our wines are dynamic. Awesome. And it's really unique, you know. It's a total different vibe. The candles go on, the music is kind of pumping and jazzy, and it is such a fun place.
I love that. So my next question for you, what is the biggest way you impact the community? I mean, you bring so many, you're helping, you know, other local businesses. If you could just in about 30 seconds tell me how you impact the community, that would be wonderful.
I think we can enhance our community. There's so many great businesses here, large businesses, small businesses, and there's so much happening in Plymouth that we would just love for people to come and try everybody. You know, we don't really compete with anybody, but we will not hesitate to send people to where we want to go. Where we go, the great cafe down the street, the distillery, there's a brewery, a great local bar with totally fun Wisconsin food. Oh my God. And donuts, and we try to work with everyone, but at the same time, when we owned our hotel, our job was to get people to come to Plymouth. So we didn't compete with people. We wanted to have people experience Plymouth for the awesome things that Plymouth is. And so we'd recommend people. We'd have people leave our bar to go to a distillery. Yes. And then they came back and said, we can't believe you actually sent us out of your place. And it's like, well, we're not competing. We want you to see why you would want to come back to Plymouth. And I think if more business owners throughout different communities have that same focus about how to get people into their town, then there's enough business for everybody, you know?
Absolutely. And that's something that, you know, our coaches talk about a lot with our clients and our business owners. It's having that right abundance kind of mindset, you know, where it's not a scarcity thing, like, oh, don't go there. If you're giving and sharing, that's naturally going to come and draw more people in from a tourism point of view, from a business point of view. So that is absolutely wonderful that you shared that.
Yes, for sure. Because that's what makes us unique.
Right. You know? So my next question for you is, what is one challenge you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Well, I think here in town, we were fortunate that we're in Plymouth. And we were running two businesses at the time. We had our hotel,
Mhm.
which we could not lose because that would have been devastating for our family. So Rana navigated that, and she was able to financially keep us on track month over month, and seeing ways that we could enhance our business. And we'd always go with ways to grow
Mhm.
and do something that would bring revenue in, even though it brought so much time away from a lot of things. We were deemed essential through the COVID.
Sure.
It took everything we had. We had not worked as hard before or after
Wow.
to just keep the doors open, even though no one was coming in.
Yeah.
It
So
was a
challenging.
time. And so I think if anyone could be inspired by anything, it would be seeing the opportunity to kind of pivot
Mhm.
during all the challenges and realize, okay, these were our initial goals, but right now the most important thing is that we don't lose our business.
Yeah.
And so what can we do to grow it? And Rana was able to help us stay totally on track with all of those. And that's why I think we're still here today.
It's so great that you have that partner in life and business that you can count on. My next question for you is, what does the future look like for you, and do you have an exit plan?
So what we are doing is surrounding ourselves with a great team, and we're always hiring. There's so many opportunities for us, as catering in the summer is a very large part of our business.
Mhm.
And we are looking for all sorts of different staff for not only Moxie, but our offsite kitchen, and then our catering that we do on top of that, and how we build our wines. So what we see is just going forward and being open to ways to create new experiences
Yes.
for not only our guests, but for ourselves to see how our business grows. So
Mhm.
like an example is Moxie meals that we do, which started out as an idea that our chef had with Rana. They started to go back and forth and figure out, can we make a meal that people can eat at home that they could cook on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pick it up at Moxie, bring it home with directions, and put it in their oven. And Stephanie, our chef, is fantastic. It is so cool to be able to serve people that might not necessarily want to cook for themselves every night. People say like 2 days a week, they don't have to think about anything. The meal is there and it's really good.
Yes.
But what we love is that it's assisting people,
Absolutely.
and making their day or maybe their week enjoyable, giving them something to look forward to, a good meal.
Mhm.
And I've gotten it once, the Moxie meal. Oh my God, it's so good. And it was
That is-
exactly that.
That's so fun. And I think about, for example, I have 3 boys, and it's just like sometimes at the end of the day, you don't want to worry about having to cook for those 3 boys or that whoever it is or that family. You just want to spend time with them in that experience. So, and just sit with them and enjoy. And yeah, or you want to hit the gym and, have something ready right afterwards. So that's so cool that you're doing that.
Yeah.
My final question for you today is, all subjects open. What inspires you most, Patrick?
I think what inspires me most is seeing like our staff and what they're doing, and then what we're able to do. And of course, the food and the seasons changing and the wines that we have is where our initial inspiration will come from. Where next thing you know, we're making a tiramisu a la minute with our vanilla soaked rum that we make, and we put it on our lady fingers, and then our espresso right out of the espresso machine, and our mascarpone cream and all of that. And it's excellent. But what's fun is how the staff helps us get to a place like that. And it starts as an idea, and next thing you know, we have a really nice little lunch menu that has these things on it, and it's unique. And if the staff is behind us and seeing what we're doing and they're enjoying it, then everything starts to roll. But if we're forcing something, it doesn't seem to catch on as well. But
Sure.
when they get a hold of it and they own it, it is so cool because it's food and beverages.
Well, and we talk about that too with our clients that, you know, if everybody's on board and on the right seat on the bus, you all have that same goal and nobody's resistant. So you just create incredible things. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to enjoy your amazing food, step in and get coffee or be part of that wine club, what's the best way for them to get there?
All right. So if you're in Plymouth, we are open Tuesday through Sunday, and the cafe opens at 7 in the morning
Mhm.
on all the way till Saturday, where we open at 8, and
Okay.
Sunday we're also open at 8. And then our website, thefigandthepheasant.com, all
Mhm.
spelled out. That has both Moxie and the Fig and the Wine Club, and how you could get information on everything, our catering menus, and all the things that we're doing. Actually, it's a
Yeah.
wonderful site. There's a team down in Madison that helped build it out, and they understand our concept, and it looks great.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Now, do you have social media too?
Yes, so our Facebook and Instagram is mainly where things are going quite a bit. So
Okay.
it's more catered, I guess, to the Facebook crowd, which is a little bit older than our teenagers. So every once in a while, a TikTok gets put out there, but not so often. But
That's
our
okay.
Facebook is enhancing what we do, and it shows our little specials and features and stuff.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know.
my gosh. Okay. Well, I am definitely following that. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your beautiful business story, the challenges, and the awesome, awesome stuff. It was so nice to meet you, Patrick, and good luck in 2023.
Well, thank you so much, and nice to meet you too.